Good morning, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon to those who are not in the US. So, can you guys help me to check whether the sound is okay? Can you guys hear me well? You can type in the chat. Also, you can say hello in the chat. Don't be shy to do that. Good morning, good morning. Also, I'm not really sure if I did well in putting some background music. Can you guys hear background music? Let me know if you hear background music because I'm not really sure if I did this well. So, okay, so there's no background music. Okay, that's such a pity because I don't know why there is no background music, but I'm gonna try to fix it right now. Now, you guys let me know if you can hear background music. You should be able to hear background music, at least according to the settings that I've seen that I need to do for OBS. Okay, so you guys can hear background music right now. It's gone again. Oh my God. I wonder why. Okay, let's see this time. Let's see this time if you guys can hear background music. We heard something when you adjusted those settings before. Yeah, but it was gone then. Maybe now you can hear some of it. We heard something when you adjusted those. Yeah, well, I am turning the volume up, you know. I don't know, should I do it on my laptop? Maybe like this? Is this okay? I don't know. Is it? Is this okay? I don't know. Oh my God, so it's worse. Jesus! Ah! Okay, we're gonna stop it, and I need to keep trying. I'm sorry, guys. My voice changed now. Wow, this is really weird. I'm really so bummed at this. I'm just gonna remove the application audio, whatever I've added here, and let's just focus on why we're here, basically, which is the charts. Shall we? Okay, so my voice is okay now, but we don't have any background music, which is a bummer, but it is what it is. I'm really doing my best. I don't know. I'm just not that technical with these things, and I just don't want to put any music in my computer and just, you know, play it from there. But I just want to put like a playlist from YouTube and just have that play. But you know, if I stop the sound on my computer, on my laptop, then you won't be able to hear it. And if I turn off the volume on my laptop, then the sound is crappy. So I don't know how to do it, but yeah, I'll find a way, don't worry. Okay, so my voice sounds great. We don't have any background music, but we can see a clear picture, a clear image of gold and silver charts. We're looking at the 5-minute chart. If we go to the 1 hour, like, I was really amazed what this thing was able to do yesterday. Really, really, really amazed. And to be honest with you, as usual, you guys know that I don't really have a bias when I start the day. So yeah, I just don't have a bias. I don't know if this thing's gonna go up. I don't know if this thing's gonna go down. I don't even care to know beforehand if it's gonna go up or down. I'm thinking it might go down, but who the hell knows? The thing is that, as usual, I'm gonna start the day with marking. Well, first things first, let's just move the 12-minute open mark to where it belongs, which is 12 midnight. Okay, 12 midnight is here. And okay, 12 midnight. So I want to mark, as usual, all the, or at least, the most obvious SMT divergences that we have had for the current day, for the previous 2 sessions, which is Asia and London. So I'm just going to do this really quick. And right now, honestly, I'm interested in marking whatever it is above the marketplace, as in SMTs at the highs, and then whatever it is under the marketplace and their current price, which is at the lows. Okay, so we have the low of the London session, and I'm spotting some sort of SMT divergence here, which is a bullish SMT divergence. So we're going to mark that out, sort of like around here. Okay. So at this point, we can safely say that we have SMT sell side sitting at the low of the London session for both pairs. Okay. SMT buy side. Where do we have SMT buy side? SMT buy side. SMT buy side. We had okay, I'm seeing something around here. So again, these are areas of liquidity, okay? This is what I'm interested in, to find out where, in not necessarily internal range liquidity, because it's not really internal range liquidity, but more like minor liquidity zones. Where have these been forming? Okay, so minor liquidity zones. So we have sell side at the low of the London session, sell side at the low of the London session. Yeah, guys, hit the like button. Yes, do it. Do it. Hit the like button. Okay, so here's what I see. Okay, I wouldn't be really thinking about going long before thinking about price actually wanting to take some sell side before possibly continuing to go long. Okay, the thing is that today is Thursday, right? And if we go to the 1 hour chart, like I try to think, like, when I see parabolic moves that just, the whole week price just goes into a single direction, I just start asking myself, is it possible that we have created the high or the low of the week, right? So the week started on March 10th, right? Which is around here. So this is the low of the week, okay? And today's Thursday. Now, I'm thinking, usually ICT says that usually the low or the high of the week will not form on Monday. So right now, if it's Thursday and we had CPI news yesterday and we also had PPI news, I think we had, I'm not really sure if we had. You can actually check that to see if we had PPI news. today, or if we're gonna have it a little later. Okay, so PPI also, yeah, that was also a thing. Then I would definitely consider that maybe today we're gonna form the high of the week. Okay, we're already having a short entry confirmation because we've had price sweeping the liquidity above this swing high over here, and also we've seen, I don't know, I might interpret this as a 3 drive pattern where price just sweeps 3 times whatever area. And we've had gold creating higher highs, silver creating lower highs, and as gold created this last higher high, which is here 805, silver actually rejected from a fair value gap, and it created also that divergence. Okay, the SMT. So at this point, I would be pretty much inclined to consider that price might actually want to go lower and sweep the low of the London session. We're going to see. The thing is that we do have the confirmation that we're looking for right now. So hold on while I'm just preparing my trade in here on my phone. Okay. Now stop loss is going to go just above the entry candle, which is 29.46, let's say 20. 29.46.20. 29.46.20. Come on. Okay, something like this. $22. Okay. Okay, now let's explain the reason for taking this trade. First, we had the SMT divergence, and then we have the divergence being confirmed by fair value gap. Okay? Now, usually when I see a fair value gap being confirmed or forming after an SMT divergence, that to me is the confirmation that the buy side liquidity that was taken by the pair that created the higher high is going to be used to pair it with smart money short orders. And therefore, I'm expecting for price to rebalance that fair value gap and then show me some form of rejection. So far, price did that on gold. Okay, so I have the SMT being confirmed by the fair value gap. Price taps the fair value gap and then rejects off of it. And then remember what I told you yesterday, that sometimes we're going to see that a fair value gap is going to form as a rejection from another fair value gap. Okay, and when I see that, usually in my head, I view that as a extra confirmation that price wants to the price wants to keep respecting the bearish order flow. Okay, someone says here, took it on the 5-minute 855 candle, so having a bit larger stop loss, 855. Oh, okay. After, if you took it once the 855 candle closed, your stop loss is not that big, honestly. I mean, compared to mine, your entry is pretty much there if you took it when the 855 candle closed. Okay? Someone's saying here in the chat, I'm thinking that you took it as a reaction from this fair value gap over here. Okay? And if you did that, you could have also taken it once the 850 candle closed. Okay, so you could have also done that. So yeah. Okay, guys. As usual, so there are. I'm trying to see how many people are watching the live stream right now. So 79 people watching. We only have 28 likes for this live stream. Could we get more? Good morning, JJ. Good morning. Maybe you could get more likes. Okay. On this trade, I opened a 0.20 position. Okay. no, 1.20, 1.19 actually, whatever. Ciao, grand success. Weighted bearish candles closed below the BC, below the CBA 20 again. Okay. Okay, you guys are liking the stream. I like when you're liking the stream. Okay. You see, when this happens, okay, so let's zoom in here and show you what I don't like about this, the way things are going right now. When this happens, I really don't like it. And when I say this, it's the following. If I have a rejection candle that's rejecting off of the fair value gap, okay, it would be normal for me to see that the momentum that the market is gaining as a response of rejecting from that fair value gap will also continue to, build up, or to build down in this case, with the following candle at least. Okay, so if I have a rejection candle from a fair value gap, I really want to see, as an extra confirmation that we will continue to be rejecting from that fair value gap, I really want to see that the following candle is just, at least it's going to not close bullish. Okay, in this case, the following candle after our entry closed bullish, which is the 915 candle on the 5-minute. I'm not really happy about that, but it's not like there's something that I can do about it. Okay, so yeah, it's just trust the process. And if it's going to take us out, stop loss is not that big. So entry is, in my case, 2942.4, 2942.27. 2942, so let's just adjust that. 2942.27. So my stop loss is, my entry is sort of like here. Okay, that's where I got filled. And my stop loss, my entry, okay, so my entry 2942.27, 28, whatever, and then stop loss 2946.20. Okay, so if stop loss will be hit, I'll be $4 in the price of gold, right, which is 40 pips or 40 points or whatever you want to call it. It's not such a big deal. So it's only going to be like about $400 something, almost $500, $480, something like that. So it's not such a big deal, risking 1% on this trade to get 2%. Okay. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it does. Right now, I wouldn't consider that anything that might happen on the 1-minute chart could be relevant. The reason for this is because we haven't seen bullish fair value gap forming. So since I'm not seeing bullish fair value gap forming, I'm not necessarily worried about the fact that price might actually start to want to disrespect the bearish order flow. My stop loss is so tight. You really think so? I don't know. I placed the stop loss at a logical level where I would consider that price shouldn't go above that level, which is my entry candle. And the reason for this is the following. So we have this CB over here, this one, okay? Besides the fact that we already had two candles, which is the bullish candle, 905, and then our entry candle, 910. So besides the fact that we had these two candles totally rebalancing that fair value gap, okay, and that 910, it's a rejection candle from that fair value gap, okay, there's basically no reason why for which price might actually want to go above my entry candle, okay, unless it wants to go and take the buy side above here on this on here, okay, create a new New York high, whatever. And if it does that, I don't know how price is going to use that buy side liquidity. It could use it to, it could be a run on liquidity and just continue to go higher. And if that happens, I don't want to, increase my stop loss without actually making sense to increase my stop loss. Okay, there are, there's this fair value gap, which was already rebalanced, price rejected off of it, and then it went lower. I would have loved to see closing lower under here, but that's fine. I'm also content to say the fact that candle bodies at least are closing under each other, right? So if we do this, we're going to see candle bodies are having lower closes. So at least that's fine, right? And at the same time, we have this fair value gap that we enter based off of, which was also already rebalanced. So right now, it doesn't make sense for me. For, you know, it wouldn't make sense if price wants to continue to go down, or if price wants to start to go down. It doesn't make sense for it to go above the entry candle, look for something else, you know, rebalance whatever fair value gap, because there's none, and then continue and then start to go lower. Okay, so it wouldn't make sense for me at this point if price would just, you know, violate the entry candle. So this is the reason why I've put my stop loss above the entry candle, because it really, it doesn't make sense for me to put it higher. Okay, because, you know, if we have this SMT, which gold went higher, right, gold creating higher high, therefore taking buy side liquidity, and then creating the bearish fair value gaps and using those, you know, that liquidity to pair it with smart money short orders. Then if the liquidity taken here on this SMT was enough to start creating a bearish order flow, how? By creating bearish fair value gaps, it would make no sense for price to break above that liquidity area. And since they're in between that liquidity area, so this high, okay, 805, and this low over here, there are no other bearish fair value gaps that have been left unbalanced, okay? So there's no sense for price to want to go up unless it wants to invalidate the bearish trade idea. And if that's the case, then I don't want to be in the trade, okay? So that's why the stop loss seems to be like that, like tight, but whatever. I'm not really not a fan of this BISI that was created here on silver. The reason for this is that this might actually be, you know, in the process of forming some sort of an invalidation of our bearish setup for gold, but we're going to see. I would incline to believe more that if gold would actually go under here and silver might have stayed inside this BISI, but we'll see. Maybe we can invert this BISI, turn it into a plum. Remember what a plum was? It's a bullish fair value gap that was then invalidated and it was inversed. Yeah. Okay, but for now it's a bullish fair value gap and price is reacting off of it. At least it's on silver. So we're going to see if that has any reaction on gold whatsoever. Did you highlight the London session on your chart? Yes, I have, but I have. Here it is. I highlighted the London session. However, I didn't change. No, actually, you know what? I think it's fine. This is the London session. This one. So yeah, the London session is highlighted on the chart. I hope that I have the hour settings set correctly. I'm not really sure if I do. You're asking me how I highlighted the London session on my chart. Well, with TradingView, you can find indicators that are going to help you to highlight that automatically. And the indicator that I'm using is called, how do I know what indicators I have here? Let me see. Chart template, object tree. No. Canvas. Yeah, I don't know what indicator I have here. I don't know how to see that. All right. What's this thing doing? Well, so far it isn't doing anything. It's just, I don't know, is it just me or is price just very still? Is price very still? Because it really looks like very still. Wow. Yeah, it's not moving. At least on my challenge account, it hasn't been moving for the past, I think, at least 20 seconds. Yeah, and now it starts to move. So what do you know? Well, let's just, like I said, trust the process, and if it takes us out, then it takes us out. It's not a biggie, not a big deal. We're going to try one more time after that, but we're going to have to really consider the way in which we're going to take the next trade, or I'm going to take the next trade. Yeah. Wow, that's really close. Really, really close. Okay. If silver could reject from here and just leave gold be, just let it be, okay? Let it be. And silver start rejecting. That would be really cool, but we'll see if it's going to do that. For now, like when I looked at the 1 hour chart, I was able to see that we're rejecting off of this BC, but we'll see. Rules are rules and are here to be followed. 930 Ripper hits again. 930 Ripper. Yeah, you know, I've heard about the 930. Okay, I'm out. So I'm out of the trade. How would it be if price would start to reject from here, like right now after taking me out? That would really be such a bummer. Really, really such a bummer. 930 Ripper hits again. Yeah, I've heard this thing where the first fair value gap on the 1 minute chart that forms after 930. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about when you say 930 Ripper hits again, but whatever, if that's what you're talking about. I think I heard someone say something about that, but right now on the 1 minute, I don't see any fair value gap that was formed after 930 because that was just like 2 minutes ago. But anyway. Okay, so we got one loss, okay, and hopefully, this is not going to go down right now after having taken me out, but we shall see. The 1 minute. Reason why I'm looking at the 1 minute is because I want to see whether silver is really going to start rejecting from that high. Not really. We'll see. There's still time until this current candle is going to close. And if you guys are asking me, because I also ask myself, like, okay, how are you going to take the next trade if you're going to take a next trade? How do you intend to do that? And the answer is, I don't know. I'll just wait and see whatever things price action will form and see whether it's going to bring any type of clarity to me. This is SMT-BSL, okay, and we also got SMT-BSL here. Oh my god, no, I don't want to put an alert. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll just wait and see. Uh, 930 open. If you have a stalling trade prior 930, best close it. Reason, false manipulation at 930 for a few minutes. Okay, and that's the idea of a Ripper? Reaper, whatever. I didn't have any idea. Do you consider bias when you trade this strategy? Like, do you zoom out to see price direction on higher time frame to determine which SMTs to consider? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Okay, like for example, the way I started today is I looked at the 1 hour chart. There's just pretty much no relevant SMTs that I would see that price might actually want to go for, because right now on the 1 hour, everything is indicated pretty much bullishness. I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to deny that, okay? The one thing that drew my attention was what's going on over here, okay? What's going on over here. So I can see that silver is finding some sort of resistance inside a fair value gap, creating also a lower high. And at the same time, gold had created higher highs over there, okay? At the same time with silver creating higher highs, lower highs. Now, the thing is that at this point, I'm thinking, okay, so if I have something, some sort of SMT on the 1 hour that might actually be signaling the beginning of a pullback, okay? Because just remember, things cannot go north all the time, right? And I was actually waiting for a move to the downside to actually take some sell side before actually continuing to go any further to the upside. But it wasn't meant to be, I guess. Okay, so we got one loss. Let's just put this like that. And this is no longer valid because that was actually not an SMT that eventually was confirmed or created or whatever. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna have to wait. Just have to wait, guys. Now this fair value gap eventually turned into a blueberry, which is a fair value gap that was inversed. And I should say the same thing about this one over here. Okay, good. This one, we don't care about it anymore on silver right there because that already did its job. It already offered resistance and then it went lower and whatever. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. Hi Alex, hi all. Hi. Reaper meant like angel of death, not the Reaper fair value gap of ICT. Oh, okay. Okay. I understand now. That's fine. I thought you meant the Reaper fair value gap of ICT, and that's why I was a little confused. But yeah, angel of death, that will do. Okay, all-time high, 2956.30. It's not that far away, right? I mean, now I'm thinking, why would price not go 60 pips more, you know, to just take out the all-time high? I don't know. We'll see if it does that. We shall see. Okay, I'm just going to remove these fair value gaps because we don't need them anymore. Just making everything clutter-free. And right now, all that matters is this thing that silver rejected off of. That really was something. All right. So right now we're waiting. Okay, you guys, so remember that yesterday I was telling you that maybe we could find, or I could find different subjects to talk about during these live streams because, you know, normally and naturally there's going to be a lot of dead time during these live streams because I can only talk so much about whatever it is that's going on in the chart. Like, we're looking at the 5-minute chart. It's not like everything is going to drastically change from a technical analysis perspective every 5 minutes, right? That's not going to happen. So, you know, just to fill these live streams with some more insights, or, you know, to discover new ideas myself, to understand better things that I'm thinking about. I think it's really good for me to speak them out loud, and it's really good to have someone to do that with. So I was thinking, yeah, I don't have to talk every second. That's true, but I like hearing myself talk. Why not? Just let me talk, Jason. So I was actually thinking, I heard something that really made me think about myself today. So today when I was at the gym, I was listening to a podcast, and this podcast was called 7 Habits of Highly Miserable People. So obviously, because I'm always striving to, to improve myself, I thought, okay, maybe without even knowing, I have habits of people that are usually miserable and I don't even know, right? Because to be honest with you, I'm not 100% happy, okay, in my life. I actually don't think that anyone is 100% happy in their lives. And I think happiness is just a matter of, I don't know, you can be happy now because you've seen a cat on the street, if you're a cat lover. And then the next second, when you walk away, that feeling of happiness disappears, right? Now, the moment you felt happy about, meeting with that cat on the street, it didn't mean that, you being happy at that moment, you were guaranteed to be happy for the rest of your life. Okay? So I don't think happiness is a permanent state of mind. I do think happiness, it's like a, now and then state of mind. But the thing is that the more often these moments of happiness that we can cultivate in our lives, the more we're going to feel at peace. Okay? So ultimate idea is to be at peace more often than not with your life, with whatever it is that you're living, right? So I heard this thing in this podcast, 7 Habits of Highly Miserable People. Of course, there are a lot of other things like, you procrastinate and this and that, and we all do that, and I'm a master at procrastinating. I already know that. But I was looking for something, a habit, that I'm not even aware I might have. And besides not being aware that I might have, I might not even know the fact that that's the habit of someone who is usually miserable, right? So because I'm trying to find out more ways to bring more happiness in my life, from one moment to the other, I thought, okay, why not? Let's hear this podcast. So this habit that raised my attention was about money. It only makes sense for us to talk about this subject since we are in a, money making, the seek to make money environment. I don't know how to call it. And this said like that. It said that you really have to pay attention to your beliefs around money. We all know that, right? We've heard a lot of times people saying, or, opening our eyes to different beliefs like, oh, I want to have a lot of money, but at the same time, I know that rich people are horrible people. They're bad people. And because normally we do not want to be bad, right? Then the subconscious mind thinks that, well, if rich people are bad and you don't want to be bad, indirectly it means that you don't want to be rich, right? We've heard that. It's not something new. It makes sense. But here's something that made even more sense for me, and it's very subtle, very, very subtle. So here's the thing. Lately, I've been finding myself spending more money than I should on different things, like girl stuff, okay? Girl stuff around the house, like a new vacuum cleaner, a new hair dryer, stuff like that, okay? And when I drew the line at the end of the month, I said, oh my God, when the heck did I spend so much money? Like, what happened? And then this podcast, I just stayed in the back of my head with this thing that, well, when did I spend that much money? What happened? Okay. And besides this, not only did I spend that much money, but also it didn't make me feel long-term happier. Okay. This is a very important aspect. It didn't make me feel happier long-term because I bought one thing. I was happy to bring it home, use it. And then after 2 days, okay, whatever, just, put it in the you know, in the drawer, and that's it. I forget about it. So the thing is that this podcast and this habit around money said the following thing: if you find yourself sometimes spending more money than you should on things that you don't necessarily need, but also on things that you don't necessarily find happiness in, like for example, if I buy a book, that brings me happiness, and it's going to bring me happiness when I read it. Why? Because I learned something new. It's also going to bring me happiness like in 2 months from now, and I'm going to read it again because I'm just going to think, okay, well, even though I read that book, I just want to read it again because who knows, maybe I'm just going to gain a new insight from rereading the book, right? So I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm talking about, you know, just really material stuff. So this thing said the following thing: if you find yourself spending money on things that then you ask yourself, okay, what was I thinking in paying that much money for this object that it only brought me, you know, very short-term joy, and then I just forget about it. It might be because you have a belief around money that you don't know exactly whether the money that comes in your life, it's a result of your hard work and dedication, or if it's a result of luck. And you don't know exactly whether the money that you bring in your life, if you will be able, if you have the skills and the ability to bring that money all the time and replicate you bringing that money in your life month after month after month after month for the rest of your life. And so that's why you're thinking, well, if this money that came to my life has been the result of luck, therefore, if I didn't know, if I didn't know how to make the money, it means that I definitely don't know how to take care of it, how to multiply it. Because if I have an amount of money and I have no idea how to replicate bringing that amount in my life again, it means that it was just pure luck. And so if I don't know how to make the money, it means I don't know how to care for it. It means I don't know how to store it. It means I don't know how to invest it. It means I don't know how to multiply it. So if I don't know how to do all of this, I might as well just get rid of it because I don't know how to take care of it. And honestly, then things started coming to my mind, you know, okay, do I really have this belief about myself that I don't know to make money, that my profits and the money that I bring in my life is just a matter of luck? And I started digging deeper into my own psychology to see whether I have a belief that it's like that. And it might actually be true. It might actually be true, you guys. And let me tell you why. I recently went through a drastic change in my personal life. And before this change happened, I was at a place where I felt like the reason for me making money is a specific person, because that person raises me up, and because that person forces me to become better and better every day. And the moment when this person ceased to be in my life, I felt that, or I might have felt, without knowing, at a subconscious level, I might have felt that the person who was actually indirectly responsible for guiding me throughout my journey of making money, since that person is not in my life anymore, then it means that from now on, I won't be able to make money. Not necessarily that till now I'd made money because it was pure luck, but more like in my case, because it might have been someone else's input, you know. Someone's asking here in the chat if we have an SMT, if we have a short. Based on my rules, we don't. I do see what you're talking about here, about these two candles. Okay, I definitely see this, that the candle that just closed 10 seconds ago created a higher high on gold, whereas on silver it did not. We might actually see price starting to reject, but based on my rules, I don't have a setup yet. Okay, not even on the 1 minute, because I don't see swing highs like, okay, this is a swing high on gold and on silver. This is a swing high. This is another swing high on gold, but I don't have other swing highs here on silver. Like, you know, there's just this swing high, and that's it. So I have 2 swing highs on gold and only 1 swing high on silver, whatever. But yeah, price might actually start to go down. What I might actually consider would be what reaction we're going to get from this fair value gap. Like, if this fair value gap on the 1 minute, if that would actually be invalidated, then it would make some sense to look for a short setup. But we're going to have to see. We just have to wait. Guys, never jump into a trade without actually making sense of that trade. Okay? It's exactly what I'm just saying right now, which is, well, if you don't know how to replicate something again and again and again, okay, just don't do it. So right now, if I were to take a short right here, I wouldn't know how to replicate it next time, because there's no set of rules that I'm respecting right here, you know. So yeah, but yeah, we might actually see price starting to melt, and that's fine. I mean, I'm okay to see it melt without me. It's totally fine. That happened so many times. So yeah, so let's go back to that psychology thing. So it really made me think and dig deep in my head to see whether, okay, am I really having this opinion about myself that right now that this person who was raising me up, you know, mentally and emotionally is no longer in my life? Do I really think that I will not be able to do anything that that person taught me so far? And the thing is that, you know, I have to think about this more, okay? Really see if I have that belief about myself. Because if I have that belief about myself that, you know, I can't do it, if this person is not around me, then I need to find ways to ditch that from my psychology. Because, you know, the moment, or as long as that person was around me, yes, that person taught me, but I learned. That person was a teacher for me, but I was a student. And since I've applied those teachings and I had positive results, then it means that I am capable, right? It really means that I am capable of doing it. So there's no reason to not continue to be capable of doing it, even when this person is not around me anymore, right? So if you ever find yourself, you know, constantly looking to buy this and buy that for yourselves, and at the end of the week or at the end of the month, you don't know exactly how or why you're spending that much money, and more than this, you don't know, or you notice that even if you're spending that much money, it doesn't bring you long-term joy or happiness. Seeing this in yourself really needs to make you ask yourself the right questions. You know, dig deep inside your own psychology, inside the things that you feel, bring them up so that you can analyze them. Because really, when we start thinking about, or when we pay attention, when we become present about the crap that we do, and then we figure out the belief that that action comes from, you can then start, like, in my opinion, that's the actual healing process. Because I hear this all the time in reels on Instagram and, on YouTube. Well, people need to heal. I'm healing. I'm healing, You don't heal unless you actually understand the shit that's going on through your head. You accept it. You recognize the fact that you have that kind of crappy thoughts in your head. Because many times it's really hard for me, and it might be hard for you sometimes, and that's perfectly normal, okay? Many times to me, it becomes kind of like hard to admit the fact that, oh, I can't believe that I have this belief system. No, I don't think I'm like that. Or like, for example, when I see someone that has something that I like, or that looks in a certain way that I would like to look, or something like that, I like to think of myself that, oh, I'm not an envious person, right? But I might actually just find myself doing things that only an envious person would do. But I would completely deny the fact, no, I'm not envious. Of course I'm not. I don't envy that person. I'm actually really happy that they have what they have, or that they look the way they look. But in fact, if that would be the case, if I wouldn't be envy on that person or to that person, whatever, then I wouldn't do the things that I'm doing towards that person. And that could be like, I don't know, like little gestures. Like, you see the person coming, they greet you and you greet them, but without looking at them, or something like that. You also, if you think, or if you find yourself that there are people around you, not necessarily friends or family members, but maybe a colleague, maybe a coworker, maybe a neighbor or something like that, right? That you don't know why exactly, but you can't stand that person. Look inside yourself and try to find out exactly what it is about that person that you're being annoyed about. Maybe that person never did something bad to you, okay? Maybe you never even spoke to that person, but there's something about them that you can't stand. If that is the case, I urge you, first try to understand what it is from their, from the way that they look like, from the way that they behave. Maybe it's something like they walk, or maybe it's something that they say, or try to find out what exactly it is specific that you can't stand about that person. And then, after you discover what that is, try to remember, or yes, remember, because I can assure you that you did that at least one time. So try to remember all the times when you have the same behavior. Like that person that annoys you, but you don't know why. That's the healing process. Every person that comes into our lives is there with a reason. Some people, come in our lives and stay a lot of time. Some people stay for the rest of our lives with us in our lives. Some people come and go. Everyone will teach you something about yourself. You just have to be open to that. And especially, I've noticed that especially people that either make you suffer or you make them suffer, or people that at the end of your story together, whatever type of relationship it is that you can have a friendship relationship or a romantic relationship or whatever the type of relationship that you have, and that relationship ends, if at the end you are left with a bitter taste, I can assure you that those are the stories that you will learn most from, something about yourself that you really need to learn about yourself, because that's like a psychological flaw that you have. And that person being in your life and having such a, weird relationship, or ending the relationship in such a weird way, in a not preferred way, that's the reason why the relationship ends like that, because you need to learn something from there, something about yourself. And if you feel that someone hurt you and that person is no longer in your life. Do not make the mistake to think that, well, whatever it is that I'm learning from my story with this person, they hurt me so much, I'm learning that I should trust people less. Don't be defensive like that. Don't put yourself in the shoes of the victim. I read something some time ago. It said the victim is always the criminal or the executor. And maybe you're going to say, well, how come? Because there are stories where, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense that someone hurts a child and that child's the actual, execution guy. There are a lot of things that I could say here, but I'm not, because I'm probably going to trigger a lot of you. But yeah, I do read a lot, so you're probably going to hear me talk a lot about different things that I read, that I discover. Let's see. Martin says here, in my opinion, happiness comes from inside, not from outside. Definitely. And yes, RBV therapy. Yeah, I like that. RBV therapy. That sounds great. Wallace says, money is spent to cater to needs, food, bills, etc., wants, pursuits, education, car, etc., and desires, holidays, luxury stuff, etc. Happiness is not contentment. Money can only buy happy. Yeah, I totally agree. I heard someone in another podcast today say something like, and I don't know, this is someone's quote. I don't know exactly whose quote it is, but it said something like, money can't buy happiness, but the lack of money can definitely buy misery, or can definitely bring misery. And I totally agree to that. I've seen much more people who lack money that are miserable than people who have money and are not miserable. And yes, even though I do strongly believe that money do not bring happiness, I also strongly believe that the lack of money brings a lot of misery. And these are not necessarily statements that are the same statements, More than happiness, peace is very important in life. Exactly. Feeling at peace with yourself. I think that's the more important thing in here. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what this thing is doing right now. Oh, wow. Did silver come down under that low? No, it did not. Because if it would have, then we would have had like an SMT divergence like this. It did not, but it actually did create like an equal low. Anyway, the thing that I'm more looking at right now is the fact that silver took out this minor buy side in here, and then it closed back under the range that it just swept, and also created a bearish fair value gap. Okay, so it could be an indication that silver is actually going to want to go lower. Now the question is, will silver reject from this CB over here? And if it will, and it will start to go lower, will it also drag gold with it? So yeah, we'll see. So for now, gold sweeping that, whereas silver not yet, but we don't have any confirmation of this yet, because this type of SMT where gold creates a higher high needs to be confirmed by, first we have to see that this will remain as a higher high on gold and as a lower high on silver, because there's still 1 more minute left until this candle is going to close, and in 1 minute a lot of things could actually happen, and we might actually see silver also creating a higher high, and therefore we wouldn't have a new SMT. But in this type of SMT where gold makes a higher high and silver makes a lower high, the SMT would be confirmed by the creation of a bearish fair value gap after price on gold created a higher high. So we don't have that yet, so we have to wait. ask a poor person if money won't bring them happiness. No, I can assure you. They will think that it brings them happiness, but let them have that money for a reasonable amount of time in their lives. And I can assure you that their short-lived happiness is only going to be just that, short-lived. I can assure you. And I can find multiple reasons why that would happen. One of the reasons would be, well, if that person is a poor person and all of a sudden they get a hold of a lot of money, it means that in this case it was pure luck, right? So if it was pure luck, they will definitely get rid of that money before you can say RBV Forex. So yeah, very soon they're going to be miserable because their external environment changes to that would normally belong to a person who has developed inside of them the skills and the power of will and the discipline and the motivation to be the person who deserves to have that amount of money. But inside, they're not that person. So it's like their inner world, it's not in sync, it's not aligned. Who they are, it's not aligned with the life that they live. Okay? So at that point, that's going to be a very short-lived happiness. But they have more values than us. No, I don't think that poor people have more values than rich people or than normal people. When I say normal, I'm talking like people with like a average income. Okay? I don't think that they have more values. I don't think that the size of your wealth makes you have more values. I don't think. Or no, I really don't think. I can count the people that are poor and that are really good. I can count them, not too many. But if you're going to go on the streets and you're going to look at all the people that are homeless, just think about all the people that are homeless. I can assure you that a very, very, very small portion of those homeless people are actually good people. The rest of them are horrible people. Horrible. They wouldn't care less about helping anyone. They wouldn't care less about not harming a dog on the street or a cat, or they wouldn't care less that, you're a woman and you're carrying your bag and it's really heavy and they can actually help because they're a man. I can assure you they couldn't care less. 99% of the homeless people, they're bad people because that's why they got to the place where they became homeless. My opinion. My opinion, guys. You can have a different one. The reason why someone would say, well, poor people have more values than rich people, I'm assuming that one of the main reasons why someone would say this is because you guys are watching all these YouTubers who actually go to a rich person on the street who is really dressed up well, and they ask that person to help them with something, and then they ask $1, right? And then the very rich people, the very rich guy is going to say, no, I don't have $1. And you would say, no shit, Sherlock, really? You don't have $1? I think you have millions, not just one. Right? And then you raise the conclusion that, well, that's a terrible guy, right? And the rich people are bad. And then the same YouTuber goes to a homeless guy and they ask for $1. And then you see the homeless guy, penny pocketing, himself to just find $1 and give it to the guy, right? And then you think, oh my God, well, homeless people and poor people are actually a lot better people and have a lot more values than rich people. No, I can assure you that YouTuber either scripted his video, okay, and he actually paid for that homeless guy to appear in his video and seem as a nice person who just gives his only $1 to a guy who's asking on the street, which is something that the rich guy was not, willing to do, okay? Or the YouTuber actually really spent a lot of time and a lot of days until he actually found a legit homeless person who is actually a good person. And he tried and tried and tried with a bunch of homeless people, and none of them were like, "You get the fuck out of here. I don't have $1. And if I have $10, but I'm not going to give you $1." I can assure you it's either one of those two things. Don't just believe whatever you see on YouTube or on social media or stuff like that, because really 90% of it is just a highlight. It's highlighting stuff that they want you to see. You don't see wealthy people looking at videos on YouTube. Usually, you will see average people or poor people looking at videos on YouTube for entertainment, right? And so these guys who post these videos, or look, there's this rich guy and I asked for $1 and he didn't give it to me. He said he doesn't have one. And then I went to a homeless guy and he gave me his only $1 that he had. So conclusion, poor people are better than rich people. I can assure you that people watching this type of content are not wealthy people. Okay? The subscribers and the people who watch this type of videos are poor people or average people. Okay? So that YouTuber making that video is making a video that knows it's going to appeal. Is making a video who knows it's going to appeal to his existing audience. Okay? If I knew right now that my audience on YouTube were 10-year-old girls who like Barbie dolls, do you think I would make videos about Forex trading? Of course not. So these YouTubers, they know that their audience is mainly average income people or low income people. And more often than not, low income people are going to have the idea about rich people that they're miserable, that they're bad people. So obviously the YouTuber is going to make content that will confirm the belief that his watchers already have. Why? Because of the confirmation bias. We tend to listen to and consume more content that aims to confirm existing beliefs that we have, rather than consuming content that challenges existing beliefs that we have. Why? Because if something is challenging a belief that we have, we think that it deems us as being stupid, but it doesn't. You learn. Okay? I don't see why I would watch a video that would confirm something that I already know. Watching a video and seeing, well, the rich guy didn't agree to give this poor guy $1. He said he doesn't have $1. Oh, look at that rich guy. He's such a horrible person. If I agree to that, if you agree to that, guys, if you consume this type of content, you really need to reconsider your priorities and your belief systems, really. Just an advice. I don't know. You might just stay the same way you are right now, but I don't think it's a good thing. Actually, material goods give a person even more stress when you dive deep into it. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. I would not be more stressed if I would have, like, yes, material goods are going to give you more stress if you do not delegate. Like, for example, if I would have 10 cars right now, if I would want to take care of filling the tank for each car, taking each car to the wash, making sure that each car has its technical revisions, annual, whatever needs to be done, then yes, for me personally, that would be a stress. But think about it. I have 10 cars, and I'm sure that they're not like Buick, I'm sure, like, the image I had in my mind when I said, well, if I had 10 cars right now, I'm thinking about Bugattis, I'm thinking about Ferraris, I'm thinking about Bentleys, right? So if I had the money to buy all these cars, Why on earth would I be the one taking care of their maintenance and filling the tank and whatever? I wouldn't. I would have someone, I would pay someone to do those things for me. So, duh, I'm not stressed. Okay? Maybe you could say that wealthy people, but not people that have a lot of material goods. No, because people who have a lot of material goods, right? Like, no one forces you to be the one who takes care of the maintenance of the material goods that you have. Fucking pay someone to do it for you, and then you're going to be stress-free. Okay? I might agree with, for example, someone who runs a company and he has 100 employees and he needs to make decisions and he needs to also take responsibility for the fact that some of his decisions are going to be bad decisions and be okay with that. That can be a stress factor, yes, but it really depends how that person in question is viewing that responsibility, because some people actually love being in the game right there, being responsible. It challenges them, it makes them become better, so they don't view it as a stress, they don't feel it as a stress, or at least they don't feel it as a bad type of stress. They don't feel it as a mental stress, they feel it like as a physical stress where it makes them move. Okay, so I have this new project, I have this new thing to do, I have this new decision to make. I wonder, what new exciting doors is this going to open for me? And that person is not seeing that as a stressful thing. It sees it as a challenging thing, but not stressful in a negative way. I don't know if you guys agree with me, or if you don't, you can just let me know. Alex, have you tried your strategy with indexes also? I haven't, but there are people using the strategy on indexes, and it works really well. Yes, exactly. So, guys, Wallace just summarized what I said really well. Your character must match your wealth status, or you will drain any money you get down to the level your character can manage. Perfect. Exactly. You're really good at summarizing stuff, Wallace. Alex, you advised the book The School of Gods by Stefano Eliodiana. I read it. I think from the mind meta position, every negative belief system stopped to affect us. Yeah. Definitely. Because actually, not that from that mind meta position, every negative belief system that we have stops affecting us. I think that from that meta mind position, you stop having the notion of something being negative versus something being positive. You see everything as being neutral. I heard someone say many times saying the following statement: nothing comes with built-in meaning. No experience has a built-in meaning. It's the way we interpret that experience that makes it positive or negative. Something which I perceive to be good for me could actually be something bad for you. So how does that make that thing, that object? Let's say I don't like pizza, but you like it. What will you say about the pizza itself? Because we're judging the pizza here, right? Or let's say, for example, that I go to a concert. We're talking about an experience right now. I go to a concert, and at that concert, there is this booth where you can go and hug cats. Okay? To cat lovers, that's going to be a really positive experience, but to someone who's allergic to cats, it's going to be a terrible experience. So what does that make of the cat? Does it make it bad? No, it doesn't. It's neutral. Makes sense? I hope it does. It should. It really should make sense. Yeah, I think this thing is actually going for all-time highs here. The question is, what will it do once it reaches there? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I've seen some SMT buy sell liquidity being marked here on my chart on silver more. Okay, this is some sort of... Well, we definitely had liquidity here. But we might actually see this thing continuing to go further to the upside, you guys. We might actually see it continuing to go further up after reaching all-time high, but we'll see. Maybe it's going to have some form of rejection. Like, anyway, we'll see. Just remain open to anything. Right now, looking at this, a trade might have been taken here based off of this SMT. You see, I always tend to forget about that type of SMT where I always tend to forget about that type of SMT where you have one pair creating a higher low and the other pair creating equal lows. I always forget about that. Someone says, I'm in buys at 29.50 and target is 29.60. Very good, Mr. Shezi. Very good. So you bought at 29.50. Yeah, exactly here. That's where the entry would have been based on this SMT over here. So gold finding support into a fair value gap on a price move. Oh yeah, this was so obvious just right now looking at it. So remember I said at one point that if price is going to break above this SMT area, it's only going to be because it wants to continue to go higher, right? So now breaking above that SMT area, we might have been able to interpret it as being, for example, like a break of structure, okay? And then a pullback to rebalance a fair value gap that was left behind at the same time with silver creating an equal low. In other words, silver creating an equal low in here, it's like the equivalent of creating a support, you know? Yeah. Wheel Beast says 29.56 rejects. It could sell. If it breaks it, will continue higher. Yeah. We will see the reaction that we get at that level, you guys. I might actually just finish the day off with just that $480 loss that I took. And that's completely fine. It's okay. I would be okay with that. Thanks a lot. Learned your models from your free videos. Feels great. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad it's helping. What can you tell us about aggression? Do you think the rich are aggressive? Can we change this in ourselves? You mean like being aggressive toward other people, right? Or maybe not necessarily, maybe you're saying being aggressive not necessarily towards other people, like physically aggressive, but maybe you can be verbally aggressive. Are you inviting me to look at that inside myself? Sometimes I actually feel that I have a talk that it's a little bit aggressive. Okay, I'll think about that. But no, I think aggression does not depend on whether someone's wealthy or not. I don't think. Not aggression, but like violence, you know, being like a violent guy or gal. Not necessarily, like I said, not necessarily physically aggressive or violent, but more like verbally aggressive. And verbal aggression doesn't necessarily have to translate as talking bad to someone or cussing someone, or but more like maybe it could seem some sort of entitlement. Like, for example, if you go to YouTube, not to YouTube, to Instagram, you're going to search for Wes Watson. He's a very rich guy and he talks really bad. Like, he cusses a lot and he curses a lot and he has this aggressive attitude. I think it's just the way some people are. I don't think that, for example, if you change your mindset, you can still have a growth mindset and make a lot of money because you change your mindset, you have a growth mindset. So if your mind grows, if you're open to to mindset growth, you're also, inevitably receive material growth in your life. I don't think that someone who's on a growth mindset will necessarily change their attitude. Like I said, sometimes I feel about myself, and I have been told by a lot of people, and I know this, that I have this aggressive attitude. Sometimes maybe it seems like I'm a little bit too pushy. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? What are you expecting? Are you expecting me to do it for you? And stuff like that, But this is the way people are. I don't think that having more money or less money is going to change you. Someone in the chat said, not being rich doesn't make you aggressive. No, I actually think that I've actually seen more examples of poor people who are prone to become aggressive. Like, for example, someone who robs, someone who steals. Those type of actions are the actions of someone who's not wealthy. And they're also the actions of someone who's not kind or a good person. Usually theft and stealing and that stuff, usually it's associated with aggressive behavior. So I might actually tend to say that the lack of money might actually make you become aggressive. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I think. I think the lack of money actually has a bigger chance of making you aggressive rather than having money. There are a lot of people, of course, who have a lot of money and they have this cockiness in them, you can't reach my nose, I'm so high in the sky, that they just feel like no one's better than them, and they might come up as being aggressive, repellent, rejecting people in an aggressive way. Like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Like, for example, Gary V's attitude sometimes is aggressive, but not physically aggressive and not verbally aggressive towards a person, but verbally aggressive towards explaining things. Like, the same. Gary Vee also curses a lot. But it's just him. It doesn't make him a bad or an aggressive person. Aggressive towards your goals is healthy. Yes, good. Okay, that's good. Aggressive towards your goals. I work with very wealthy people. A lot of them are super chill. Lol. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I also believe. People who really have wealth, they are usually also kind of chill. More chill than people who are like mid-level income or, low-level income. And also, I think that poor people tend to react in a more exaggerated way when bad stuff happens to them, as opposed to rich people who usually, they might react, but not in such a way that, oh my God, my world is ending, Alex, what are your thoughts on so-called Forex gurus who show off their latest mansion or Lambos? I think that creation as in the universe, whatever, some people call it God, some people call it the universe, some people call it the creator, some people call it Allah. I don't know, whatever you want to call this thing that you feel that life, it's more than just living life here on earth. there must be something more. I think that that's something more, that we all feel that there might be something more, there must be something more than just that. I think it's what we feel as this energy that surrounds us, and that, quantum fields, some people call it. And I think that creation itself wants to express, because that's the purpose of creation, wants to express itself in all ways possible. And when I say always possible, all ways possible, or in all the possible ways, when I say that, I mean good ways, bad ways, ways that might look appealing, ways that might look scammy, ways that might look legit. It doesn't really matter. My personal opinion about so-called Forex gurus who show off their latest mansion or Lambos, they became gurus. They didn't make themselves gurus. Someone who is called a guru or an influencer or something like that is like that, has that type of reach, because people watch him. I believe these people who show off their Lambos and their mansions and everything, they serve their audience. They have an audience who opens Instagram and YouTube every day in search of exactly what that guru is posting. Mansions, Lambos. Some of these people search for this type of content because they want to motivate themselves. They want to see what they can have. They think to themselves, well, if this guy can have it, I can also have it, because he has two hands, he has two legs, he has one head, he can speak, he can think, so can I. So if he can do all these things and he got to have all this money, I can also do it. Okay? And this is a good way to use the wealth that people post on social media. It doesn't matter if we're talking about a Forex guru who made their money not from trading, but from selling courses. It doesn't matter. It really does not matter. The point is, that person has something, and if he's renting his Lambo, it doesn't matter. He still has the money to rent the Lambo, which is not something we can say about everyone. Okay? Maybe you have $1,000 right now to rent a Lambo, but you're not going to do it because your rent at your home is $2,000 per month. So you wouldn't spend half of that to rent a Lambo one day and do what? You don't have an audience to convince them that you have a lot of money so that they can bring you more money. It makes no sense for you to do that. So you're not going to do it. Maybe you can afford it, but you're not going to do it because you don't see how that could bring you more money. Point is, what I'm trying to point out is that if there's a Forex guru that you believe it's a so-called Forex guru, in other words, this person claims to make their money from trading, but you know for sure that they're not making their money from trading, why the fuck do you watch them? Why the fuck do you follow them? The moment you think about someone that doesn't make their money from trading, and the moment you think that it's a bit weird that this person is flashing their Lambos and their cars and their vacations and their mansions, they're flashing them on YouTube, trying to scam people to sell their courses, why the fuck do you watch those people on YouTube and on Instagram in the first place? Because it's people who watch these people, these gurus, so-called gurus, it's their audience, their followers. Those are the ones who give them the status of being an influencer, of being a guru. So if you watch someone that you are perfectly convinced, it doesn't matter if you're right or not, your personal opinion is that that person flashes their Lambos and their Ferraris and their houses on social media, but they did not make that money from trading, even though they claim that. If that's your personal opinion about that guy, it's your fault, because you're the one watching them. Okay? You can just go follow someone that you are completely convinced that they're making their money from trading and not from selling courses. I hope it makes sense. We need gems from you on trading psychology. Everything that I'm saying right now revolves around psychology in general that can also be applied in trading, and also revolves around psychology around money. Okay? Trading is about money because that's why we trade. Okay? That's the reason for which we trade. So if we trade because we want to make money, and I've talked about psychology things about money, around money, maybe you can't make money with trading, with Forex, because you have flawed beliefs about money. You know, so you can make money from trading, and then all those things that will prevent you from making money in trading are going to be what? Over trading, over leveraged, holding your winners for too little time, holding your losses for too much time. You know, you're not following a strategy. You're not consistently following just one single strategy. You're binge watching content. You know, the thing is that people usually fail because they don't stick to one strategy for long enough to figure out whether that strategy really works for them long term. Because everyone is in a constant rush to make money fast, and everyone thinks that if they're gonna if they're gonna put 3 months of their lives into this strategy and it turns out that it's not a good strategy, they've wasted 3 months from their lives. But what if it turns out that that strategy does work? You don't know. There's 50-50 chances that it's going to work or not. Which one will you pick? Both of them have the same probability. So yeah, it really depends which one you pick. Hi RBV, I hope you're having a great stream. Could you please let me know when the New York Killzone trading session is scheduled to end? Thank you. So it will end half an hour from now for Forex pairs. Actually, almost an hour from now. I'm a bit confused with the new hours because I'm in Europe, and right now my laptop hour shows that it's 4:37 p.m. And in New York right now it's 10:37, 35, whatever p.m. A.m. Sorry. And usually between my country and New York, there's only a 7-hour time zone difference. But these 2 weeks of March, there's going to be a 6-hour difference until Europe will switch to daylight savings time. So yeah, it's a bit confusing for me. But usually, yeah, in an hour from now, the New York kill zone will end. Okay, the New York kill zone will end as a trading kill zone. Some reaction is expected now as prices reaching near the all-time high point. I don't expect a reaction. I wait to see if I will get a reaction. That's what I usually do. Because, you know, a reaction means what? A rejection, right? But what if the reaction is a continuation? That's still a reaction, isn't it? A continuation is still a reaction. So yeah. If your setup shows up before or after a kill zone, will you take a trade? Usually if it's in between London kill zone and New York. But if it's after the New York kill zone ends, no, because it's already, you know, evening here where I'm at, and I just try to, you know, settle for the night. But if it's in between London and New York, then yes. Do you recommend a kill zone indicator for TradingView? Yes, guys, but I don't know how to show it here on my chart. Navigation pane. I don't know where that is. No, it's not that. You guys let me know if you know how I can see the indicators showing here on my chart. Apply these indicators to entire layouts. Okay, someone said I see kill zones and pivots. Okay, you can use that. I think the more simple a kill zone indicator is going to be, the better, because you only need some rectangles to be drew on the chart. You don't need more than that. If your setup shows up, oh, okay, I've already answered that. Okay, so Mr. Shezi, you said that you need gems for me on trading psychology. If you guys have anything, any subject about trading psychology that you would like us to talk about in these streams, or that you would like me to talk about in these streams, why don't you just put those as comments, and I can actually make a list. Yeah, this is the one that I use, Lux Algo ICT Kill Zone Toolkit. That's the one that I usually use. Exactly. So, right, if you guys have any suggestions about subjects about trading psychology that we can actually talk about in these live streams, just let me know in the comments. And I'll make a list, and I'll make a list, and I will touch up on each topic, provided that we have time during every live stream. So yeah. Wow, look at this thing flying. See, so this is exactly what I was saying. Don't expect a reaction, because if your definition about a reaction is a rejection, you might not necessarily get that. But continuing to push in the same direction, that's also a reaction. Okay? Yeah, so definitely this in here would have been an entry confirmation. Definitely. But right now, in hindsight, I can be a winner, but that's fine. For that same reason that I already talked about. SMT, and then gold rejecting from this fair value gap, and then silver creating a support, whatever here. Revenge trading, profit streak, and knowing when to stop. Risk management. Okay, so we have subjects to talk about. I'm going to screenshot this to make a list, and we're going to talk about these things in the next live streams. Revenge trading, profit streak, and knowing when to stop. Okay, revenge trading. This is something that I've heard someone talk about today, but it was not under the form of revenge trading and day trading or something like that. But it was more like doing the same thing and expecting to get a different result. Think about it like this about revenge trading. You take a setup and you take a loss, okay? And the moment you take a loss, you immediately want to jump back in a trade thinking that you're going to recover your loss. And in doing that, what you're not actually realizing that you're doing is the fact that you are doing the same thing that made you lose money in the first place, which is trade without knowing why. Because I can assure you, if you're gonna, I can assure you, if you are going to take a trade that's going to be a loss and you will feel the urge to recover that money, most likely it's because the way in which you took the trade, you had no idea what you're doing. Because if you know what you're doing, then you know where to put your stop loss. And if your stop loss is hit, you're totally okay with it. First of all, because you didn't risk more money than you afforded to lose. Second of all, because you know how to replicate this thing the next time. Not the loss, but you know that you followed your plan. Okay, you know that you followed your plan. And that the way the markets move are not in our control. The only thing that is in our control is how rigorous we're going to be in following the trading strategy that we have chosen to follow. And if we don't have a trading strategy that we follow every day with every setup, then it means we're not being consistent in our actions. Being consistent in trading doesn't mean to be profitable. Okay? Consistent profitability has nothing to do with consistent action. Consistent profitability is just a result of consistently doing the same thing, trading the same model, trading the same pair, trading at the same hour, trading no matter the outcome. I'm just going to do the same fucking thing no matter what the result is. And I'm going to do it as much time as needed to make as many mistakes as needed to discover as many flaws to this trading system as needed and to fix these flaws until the strategy becomes perfect. How long have you been going live now and what made you do it? Super excited about this, not complaining. Haha. Okay. So I think this is the 6th live stream, the 5th or the 6th. So I've only started last week. What made me do it? I have a lot of time. I don't know how to fill it. And I thought, well, you know, I'm trading every day, so might as well just revive my YouTube channel with these live streams. I also get to engage with a lot of people. I also get to find out about new insights that you guys are posting in the comments. I also get to talk to you about the things that I understand from the podcasts that I listen, from the people that I talk to, from the videos that I watch, from the books that I read. And if there is something that I understand at a deeper level and it helps me become better in any way, shape, or form, then I consider that it is a very good thing to also pass it along to someone else. So this is a good way to do that. Also, what another reason that made me do it was the fact that I feel that I can be more disciplined. I can get myself used to having like a structured program throughout the day. Like I would normally say, well, you know what, it doesn't matter, I'm just going to go to this shop and I'm just going to do this and I'm just going to do that, and it doesn't matter that I need to be home in 1 hour and just wait for a trading setup. You know, I was a bit sloppy with the way in which I organized my time. And right now, knowing that I've told people, guys, wait for me because I'll be there at 4, not at 4, I'll be there at 9 a.m. New York time, and I know that there's some people waiting for me, then I tend to be more disciplined and more punctual, you know, because this is really something that I need to work on. So yeah, no valid entry for longs. Yeah, no, we had this, but unfortunately I've seen it too late. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But that would have been like insane, absolutely insane. When do you know when to bump up your lot size? Example, 0.05 to 0.10. So listen, you don't bump up your lot size unless you have to do that because your account size increases, and so in order for you to risk the same percentage from your total balance, it would only make sense for you to increase your lot size. So let's say that you're starting with a $1,000 account and you want to risk 1% per trade. Okay? And your stop loss is going to be 20 pips, right? What's your position size? What's your lot size? What lot size should you use if you don't want to risk more than 1%, which is $10, and you have a 20 pip stop loss? Okay? That's what you have to think about. So if I don't want to lose more than $10 and my stop loss is 20 pips, so I need to make sure that if my 20 pip stop loss is hit, I will only lose $10. What should my lot size be? And then if you increase your account to $1,500 and you want to risk the same amount, the same percentage, 1%. Now 1% from 1,500 is not equal to $10, equals $5. Okay? So now, if your stop loss is still going to be 20 pips, what should your lot size be so that if your 20 pip stop loss is hit, you will not lose more than $15? So now, obviously, your lot size will increase. That's how you increase your lot size. Or maybe you want to risk 2% from your account size. Okay? That's how you decide when you increase. When it makes sense to increase it so that you risk the same percentage from your account balance with every setup, no matter what the size of your stop loss is. And you know, in order to do this, like to calculate it really fast, what your lot size should be, okay? Like for example, oh no, wait. Like for example, if your account is 1,000, right? And you want to risk no more than 1%, which is $10, okay? And your stop loss is 20 pips. The fastest formula or method to calculate your lot size is going to be, first you have to think your stop loss not in terms of pips but in terms of points. So on any Forex pair, gold, whatever, okay, we're talking about Forex in general, 20 pips means 200 points. Okay, just add one more zero usually. And so in order for you, you have to think the stop loss in terms of points, okay, not pips, points. And then you have to divide the amount of money, the maximum amount of money that you're willing to lose, divide that to the number of points of your stop loss. So if I don't want to lose more than $10, I'm going to divide 10 by 200, and it's going to equal 0.05. Okay, that's how you calculate your lot size. All right, you guys. Well, we're gonna stick for a little longer here to see whether we're gonna get any sort of reaction after silver also is reaching a liquidity area. So gold reached or made an all-time high. Silver also reached a liquidity area. We're just gonna stick around for a few more minutes to see if something's gonna happen here. I would like to see this being somewhat invalidated. You know, there's a lot of liquidity that I see being accumulated here. And I'm just going to remove this because we haven't taken that. So, yeah. I see a lot of liquidity around here, you see? My TP hit. So someone says, Mr. Shezi, my TP hit at 29.60. Well done. Good job. All right, let's see if this thing is going to do something now. Do you also trade during the London kill zone session, or do you focus on New York trading hours? I'm curious about your approach. Yeah, I'm trying to trade only New York lately, because during the London session, I just want to take care of other stuff in my life. Like, I don't know, going to the gym or doing stuff like that, you know? So yeah, that's what I want to do. All right, let's see what this thing is going to do here, because I'm really curious. Also, this whole area here, you see? This whole, it's a really smooth area. Very smooth, whatever happened here. But of course, it doesn't necessarily mean that price is going to start melting. Of course not. I wonder when we're going to have 100 viewers, concurrent viewers in the live stream, because right now it's 62. A little earlier, there were 94 people watching the live stream. Not bad. Not bad. I remember Raja Banks starting 5 years ago. I think he started live streaming with about 30 people, 50 people, something like that. And then he grew to 200 people, like concurrent viewers during his live streams. And right now he has thousands. That's really cool. That's again another proof that consistency beats everything. Consistency beats everything, really. If you do the same thing consistently, even the freaking social media algorithms reward creators for consistency. That's how important consistency is. That's what you. That's a major confirmation, guys. If social media platforms algorithms are made in such a way that they're going to reward consistency, then you think about how important consistency is. Because we know that social media platforms, you know, the companies that own the social media platforms are top. So if they have chosen consistency as the #1 metric to decide how much they're going to reward and what creators they're going to reward, then yeah, I guess that really speaks for itself about the importance of consistency. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm right or not? Can you think of some aspect of your lives that when you became being consistent with it, the results changed drastically to those that you desired? I don't know, it could be gym, it could be trading, it could be relationship with others, with colleagues, it could be what you eat, you know, diets, whatever. Think about that, and you'll see that the moment you become consistent in an area of your life, results will not take so much time to appear, you know. Oh my god. I think I'm hungry, and it's 5 p.m. here in my country. In New York, I think it's what, 11? Yeah, 11 a.m. Wow. So 11 a.m. It's 5 p.m. where I'm at right now. And I actually think that I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. Because honestly, I don't think uh, I don't think that it makes any more sense for me, you know, to be in the live stream. Because I'm not going to look for any other setups right now. Like, definitely. I don't care if the market melts or just continues to go higher like crazy. I'm just going to keep on answering the questions that appear lately in the chat, and then I'll be gone. So it's 4 p.m. for you right now, huh? It's actually 5 p.m. for me right now. Can I know what strategy we are using here? Thank you. Yes, you may know. We're using Prime ZR. We're using SMT and fair value gaps to frame our trade ideas, mainly on the 5-minute time frame. And I know right now I'm looking at the 1 minute, but we're usually doing it on the 5 minute. This session is a masterclass for trading and life all in itself. Thank you. The participation is really good for a start. Main has over 50k subs and has been streaming since 2019 and now has like 200, 300 people on his streams. So you're doing really great at the moment. I don't know who Main is, but if you're saying that this person is live streaming since 2019 with 50k subs and he has 200, 300 people, right at 50. I almost had 100 a little earlier, but it's good because it's just my 5th or my 6th live stream, so it's good. Now that you said diet and health, Barbara O'Neill will visit for lectures Romania in the summer. Nice. Okay, guys. So, talk to you tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys have any ideas about the ways that I could improve these live streams, make sure to put them in the comments of the video that will remain as a video on the channel after I end the live stream. I'm gonna do my best to put some background music. It's the 3rd time that I'm saying this, and every time I failed, but I'm consistently trying, so eventually I will succeed. So again, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, just make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button for this live stream, and talk to you guys tomorrow, same hour, 9 a.m. New York time. Bye.